Good afternoon, guys. We are back. It's been long, but I hope you miss me because I missed you guys. I miss talking to you. It gives me a sense of purpose if I have people that appreciate what I do. So, yeah, I missed you. I had some things I had to cater for, my daily life, as you all know. But I'm back, and this time I'm back not with back testing or forward testing. So this time we are going to be going into the market and we are going to be placing some trades. So that being said, it's not that I'm promising you next week or we already started, and today we have placed a trade. But we had one major problem. We're having this account for Alpha Futures. It is a funded account, a 50k account. So for Alpha Futures, we are trying to pass it going into next year. By next year, we need to have a funded account, and basing on that or from that, we can get to our goals. As you all know, as traders, we all have goals of making some money, and you all know. So I was trying to pass this account, but I had a problem yesterday, on Friday rather. I tended to trade which wasn't in my plans. So that was a mistake I did, and I really take that into my accordance, and I can't blame anyone or anything for that. So that was a silly mistake made by me, but I'm fine. So luckily we shall, if God willing, we shall try to recoup that loss and get back to our feet and try to pass the account. So today we took it as we started with an initial drawdown of 1,000, but basically the drawdown is at 2,000, as you all know. For Alpha Futures, the 50k account, this is the zero account, and leaving the loss I made on Friday aside, I took it as if my starting capital is 1,000, where the account was settling at 49,000. So that was my starting for today, and we are gladly going to try to make our target be 4,000, because that's all we are left to do. We're not going to blame it on anyone. So today we happened to take a trade. It was a sell trade, and basing on all the factors, whatever I told to you, whatever I said in my past videos, what we look at when we are going to place a trade for the AM session. So to make things easy, you are going to develop a model. If you are trying to come into the market, and fine, I do accept that this is a language. I take the market as a language. If someone is speaking to you and you tend to understand what they are speaking, you can get to know what they are ordering you to do. So I take this as a language. I take this as the market speaking to me. So I appreciate that, and for me to get to understand what the market is up to, I'm going to detect the patterns in the sense with which the market speaks to me. So I'm going to detect the recurring occurrences that the market goes through when it's talking to me. So to make life easier for me, but I can come, look at the charts and know what's going to come on next. But for me to get my psychology in place, know that if I don't see this, then I'm not going to trade. So I need to get certain things I focus on. So I made my area of focus to be the 12 to 12:30 opening range. So I'm looking at the market to trade back into that, or treat that as a PDRA, giving it inversion characteristics, the market inversing that and then continuing lower, or coming from that, filling the orders within it and then reversing from it. So you can see my 12 AM 12:30 opening range is marked out, the purple line, the chart. So I'm going to zoom in. We're going to dive into the trade I took today. I took 3 trades. and also one trade on ES. So the trade I took on ES, I'll be showing it to you. So I had my first trade. We had 9:30 opening as this candle right there. That is the 9:30 candle. Look down here where I have the timestamps. That black candle, that is 9:30, the opening bell. We have the opening bell at 9:30. We had a fair value gap prior to 9:30. So this fair value gap, I was expecting the market to inverse it and then give me a retest into that, and then we drop lower. I failed to anticipate the market to manipulate and then give me the move lower, but my bias was right. I was onto sales and the market did what I wanted it to do. So we had the market inversing that. Entry was taken, and I'm fine with being stopped out because I followed everything as it has to be. I have no regret of having taken this loss. So I take that loss real quick. Market inverses that, closes, gives me the entry at the retest and just goes to my stop loss. Then have the market dropping low, back lower. So this is the trade I took on ES. I'll be sharing the ES chart just like that. So this is ES at the same time. So this is the 9:30 open. The market on ES didn't give me the manipulation for the inversion. The market dropped lower and then pushed higher, so there wasn't no confirmation for me to take sales yet. Then I happened to look at this as a manipulation because this is a compression leg right here. The whole of this is a compression, and then the market rallied, took out buy side, we took out minus sell side on ES, minus sell side, and then market then looked for buy side. This indicating market is going to drop lower. So if I'm to add executions on this chart, trading execution maximum, we have the market dropping and closing below that. You can see I entered at that breaker. If I'm to take you back to, let me put this off. If I'm to take you back to NQ didn't give us an entry back into this. Market did not come back into that. So this breaker was my entry point. You can call it a breaker or a change in set of delivery. It all falls into that. So this was my entry point, but I didn't see it at that. I saw it at ES. So because I'm always having my charts just like this. So if I'm to click, so this is the chart of ES. I had the market, let me put it just as that. This is the 9:30 candle. You can look at NQ right there. Market manipulates higher, manipulates on ES. Then we have a drop lower, ES having a fair value gap, inversing that. NQ is dropping lower rapidly, and then ES gives me an entry. I take that for sales. My exit is when NQ fails to go through the 12 AM to 12:30 opening grade. It trades to it and then fails to go through. So if I'm to take you back to ES, show you my executions and my exits. So I happen to get stopped out in profits after taking off a partial. No, I didn't take a partial, I'm sorry. After putting my stop loss to break even. So I'm having that as my entry. Look at this arrow that comes right here. If I touch there, that breaker, it was a limit entry, tapped in, stops above this candle's high, having this fair value gap. Then I was tapped in, then the market drops lower. I didn't have contracts that I could take partials. If I had, then I would have taken partials off this low. Market drops into that, this fair value gap, inverses it, then trades back above that. immediately. So if we had spent some time in here, my stop loss would have moved to this, but I didn't, because we didn't spend time. So I expect the market to come back into either this volume imbalance right there or this order block. Okay, it comes into that, drop back lower, and then my stop loss came to this high, and I got stopped out just like that in profit. So I was stopped out in profit, as you can see, and take a loss. So it wasn't a loss. And we are going to be looking at the other trades I took. That profit that I was stopped out in there recouped the loss that I had taken on NQ just here. So I was sorted and I was back to break even. So every trade I was going to take after that was going to be taking me back to where I want to. So the market drops lower, I'm waiting, and we tap this as our first presentation. I have a large range first presentation fair value gap. So the market comes back into that. I'm having an entry as the automated entry we used to talk about in my previous videos. So have the market offering that, and then that retest and stops me out immediately. So I stopped out immediately. The market rallies. So I waited for the 10 a.m. candle to open, and then I was looking at the inversion of this market to drop lower, give me a retest for my entry, and then continue lower for sell side, printing in Monday's low. So that was my goal in this trade. Now if I'm to add my executions and execution levels, you're going to get to notice that everything was as that. So I entered a short right there, as you can see, at that fair value gap, a short. The market just took me out at that high, the high of the fair value gap. So stop loss placement was late. We have execution and entry was legit. The market just drops just like that. We have this, followed my rules again, took that entry at consequent encroachment, reached consequent encroachment of that fair value gap, looking for bearish market structure. Then market just stops me out immediately because we are in a macro, and I expect that. So the market rallying higher, leaving me a fair value gap. Notice that within this price leg, we have no visible fair value gap that is going to give me that inversion for a reversal. Having this fair value gap marked out, the market respected that, and then we rallied higher. Gave it a mohawk to what? The balance price range, from this candle's low to that candle's high. That is a balance price range, so the market drops into that. I missed the entry on the break. I wanted to go long, but it wouldn't. I would have either been stopped out at break even or a stop loss. So we have the market opening at 10 a.m. marking out the 10 a.m. hour open. I'm having a rejection block. The market taps into that. Why am I saying this is a rejection block? This is a bearish candle, closed bearish with a wick. And then this is a rejection block. The market stays within the window of that. We do not take out this high. I'm going to invest that. My entry is at the retest. Look at how precise my entries are with the PDRs. We drop lower, failing to invest this. Then the market comes back into this breaker. I'm afraid of that. To ease myself and my pain, I take a partial. So I entered with 3 micros. I take a partial to ease my pain, and my stops move to break even. The market drops lower. This is a partial to keep my mental capital at point, not for me to go on a tilt or close early. So having a partial taken out, I'm stress free now, and whatever the market does, I'm fine with that. The market comes back into this inversion fair value gap right there, gives it a mohawk. This is another block, and stays within the window of that inversion fair value gap. No matter how tiny it is, you have to keep note of details. So this was our entry right there. I want you to see that. That was our entry. First partial, market retraces back into that fair value gap inversion, and another block, so we drop lower, happen to collect profits just at that, going into the new weekly opening gap, collect profits just that, and then market taps that and we reverse. Market hasn't yet gone back to lower prices since then. So that's the trade I took today, and we are left with $700 to get out of drawdown. I think by the end of this week or the scope of this week, I'm not going to try to gamble anything. I just want to follow the rules, stay in the scope of precise entries and exits, and see whether gambling can beat price action. So turn up, big up, and we shall see where this all ends. Stay disciplined, don't hurt yourself. Have a good night. Thank you.